just jumping right in, I'm grabbing my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C10, and I'm placing this all over my eyelids and just buffing that in so I can be prepped and ready for my eyeshadow. Going into my Starry Sky Top Beauty palette, I'm grabbing that cream shade and I'm just tapping that into my eyelid, and that's just to go ahead and set all the concealer that was placed on the eyelids so we can move on to the rest of our eyeshadows. And I'm going in with the brightest red in the palette, and I'm just packing that all over my crease until I'm satisfied with the pigmentation. Once I felt like my shadow was as pigmented as I wanted, I got that same brush and I went in circular motions very slightly with the side of the brush, just so I can basically remove the harsh edges. I then went into my NYX Black Matte Liquid Liner and I created a wing. Next, I decided to go in with some red glitter on the bottom lash line, and I just used some NYX glitter primer glue so it can stick on, and then I put this right on my lash line just to create some type of definition and some extra dramaticness to the look. I went into my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil and I used the shade Black Bean just to line my waterline on the bottom and also tightline over the top. Moving on to falsies, I bought these off the Amazon website. I believe they were like for $12.99, so that's a steal. If I have the link, I'm gonna try to link that down below for you guys. For foundation today, I'm using the Fenty Beauty foundations in the shade 330 and 310. I try to mix it to create my perfect shade. However, I struggle to find my correct shade. If you're like my skin tone and you have your perfect shade in Fenty Beauty, please comment down below because I'm still looking for a shade that I don't have to mix. And I'm just applying this all over my face and blending it with my Real Techniques face pot brush. And here's my handsome baby, my nephew, saying hi to y'all. Now moving on to concealer, I'm using the Fenty Beauty concealers as well, and I'm using both shades 330 and 310. I use the shade 330 more so to conceal, since I feel like that's more like my ideal skin shade, concealer shade. And then I go over with 310 just to highlight a little bit more underneath my under eyes. These next steps are self-explanatory. I'm just blending my life away in these next few clips. For contour, I'm using my Wet n Wild contour stick in the shade Where's Walnut, and I really love these Wet n Wild contour sticks. However, I feel like sometimes when blending this out, I look a little ashy, a little gray, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up another shade because I really do love these contour sticks, and they're cheap as hell. Like Wet n Wild is like what, $3, $4? I don't know, but it's mad cheap. And again, just casually blending my life away. You guys, you have to blend till your fingers hurt, till your hands hurt, because otherwise your makeup is gonna look a hot mess. And you want everything to be in uniform. You want the contour to blend with the concealer. You want the concealer to blend in with the contour, with the foundation. Everything has to look seamlessly. So please take your time blending. Next, I got my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Loose Setting Powder in the shade Banana, and I just lightly set the areas where I placed my concealers, underneath my eyes, the bridge of my nose, and all that, all them places, where I normally set. I got like a wedge sponge. I love using wedge sponges, although I don't use them often. I just feel like it's so precise and it's so sanitary. Moving on to my e.l.f. bronzer palette, I'm going to go ahead and contour and bronze up my face, child, because we need to bring some more life into this face because I'm looking dull. So I'm grabbing the lightest and the darkest shade in the palette, and I'm just contouring the perimeter of my face as well as my nose. Using that Fenty powder again, I'm grabbing that same wedge little sponge, and I'm just cleaning up my contour so it can be a little more precise. Then I'm going to grab my brush and I'm just going to dust it all away. For blush today, I'm using the Studio Makeup Luminous Loose Blush, and this is just a nice rosy pink. And normally I don't try to go so heavy on the blush, but with this specific look, I did want the blush to be noticeable because most times I just blend it out until you can't see it, you know. So I left it on, but I wish it was just a little darker. I got into my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette and I decided to do black. Yes, black lipstick today because I wanted this to be like a, I don't want to say anti-Valentine's Day look, but you know, ain't gotta be so girly all the time. Spraying my face with my favorite Morphe setting spray, and then I go into my Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter in the shade Rose Gold, which is my favorite highlighter right now. It's so soft and buttery and it just melts into my skin. And I'm just placing this on the apples of my cheeks, and then I go on the bridge of my nose, my eyebrows, and Cupid's bow. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This concludes the end of this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And God willing, I'll see you in my next video.